I'll never forget the first time someone threatened to call the cops on me for fishing in my own lake. No, I'm not kidding, picture this. I'm out there sunsetting low kayak, drifting in the middle of the water my family has owned since before I was born. And here comes this HOA president stomping down the gravel like she's auditioning for a crime drama. She's waving papers, shouting at me like I'm some kind of criminal. On my own property. Overfishing. That's when you know you've hit a nerve, right? She actually dialed 911 on me and had no idea what she'd just set loose. Let me tell you, things escalated fast. And trust me, it went nuclear before it was over. I'm sitting in my kayak watching the base break the surface near the deep channel, and I can feel my grandfather's old brass compass in my pocket. He gave it to me decades ago, the surface worn smooth just like the hands that held it before mine. That compass has been out here longer than anyone in Pine Valley, longer than Kimberly Foster, that's for sure. This lake was our family's since '52. I'd spent my whole childhood here, left for a career in hydraulic engineering, and after 45 years, I finally retired and came back for good. But something wasn't right. The water level had been dropping for months, not just a little, but a solid 6 inches below normal. That's not evaporation, that's not drought, that's a problem. I'm still puzzling over it when I hear her coming. Kimberly, Pine Valley HOA president, master of the power suit, queen of the clipboard brigade, flanked by two guys in ill-fitting blazers with clipboards of their own. She's got that, business look, flats clicking on the stones. I paddle closer, trying to keep things civil. What's the problem, Kimberly? She flashes this paper at me, eyes bouncing between my dock and the waterline markers. She's reciting some emergency regulation about community safety. The ink's not even dry. Kimberly, this is my private lake. See those boundary stones I point? You can't just make up rules about water you don't own. She sputters, then swear to you, says she needs to verify that. Then starts calling the sheriff, telling me I'm creating a public safety hazard. While she's busy dialing, my engineer's brain is already working. I see the HOA's irrigation lines, big pumps, industrial piping, way too heavy duty for a little subdivision. Intake pipes running just under the surface, right on the edge of their property. That's when it clicks. Someone's been siphoning water. Systematic. Not a drop here and there, we're talking industrial theft. And the way Kimberly's panicking, it's not about fishing at all. It's about hiding what they've been up to. Sheriff shows up. Jenkins, good guy, looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. Kimberly's making a scene, talking about critical infrastructure, waving her emergency notice. I walk up, hand Jenkins my deed. He scans it, glances at her paper, then just says, "Ma'am, this is private property." I can see Kimberly's face cycle through every shade of red. She tries to talk about potential future emergencies. He closes his notebook. Unless there's an actual emergency, handle your disputes through civil channels. You'd think that'd be the end, but no. After he leaves, she and her security start arguing by their cars. I'm at my dock, checking water levels, photographing markers, documenting every inch. My old brass gauge reads normal. The new digital one down over 50,000 gallons. Now, as a hydraulic engineer, I know what this means. Unauthorized water extraction isn't just theft, it's a federal crime. That's jail time, not just a slap on the wrist. And this lake, it's not just a backyard pond. It's the recharge point for the whole region's aquifer. If someone messes with it, they mess with water for hundreds of families. I walk up to the house, compass in my pocket, feeling the weight of all the history and responsibility my grandfather handed down. He'd mapped this whole place, secured every right. New water was more valuable than gold out here. I see Kimberly sitting in her car, phone pressed to her ear, and I know this isn't over. Next morning, I'm hit with 3 pieces of mail, a $5,000 fine, a cease and desist order, and a demand for a safety inspection, all stamped with the HOA seal, all dated before Kimberly even confronted me. She'd planned this whole thing. I head down to the lake with my measuring tools. Mist is rising, sunlight catching the surface just right. I trace the intake pipes, big, expensive, professionally installed, following them to a meter labeled Pine Valley Water Management, not the HOA. That's a shell company, I realize, set up to bill the HOA for water they're stealing from my lake. Then I get a text from Clearwater Environmental Services about an inspection I never asked for. 5 minutes of research and I find out Clearwater is another shell registered by Kimberly 6 months ago. Their only client, the HOA. And guess what? They specialize in water distribution oversight. They're stealing my water and selling it. That's when I call Melissa Mitchell, an environmental lawyer I used to work with. I lay it all out, the fake fines, the shell companies, the industrial pumps. She says, "Jake, this isn't just a civil case. This is federal crime territory. Don't sign anything, document everything. I'm coming up this afternoon." While I'm waiting, I dig through HOA budgets. Water and landscaping costs have tripled, and most of the money's going to Kimberly's company. I run a Freedom of Information request on their electric usage. Turns out their usage doubled in 5 years, peaking overnight exactly when you'd want to run pumps on the sly. Melissa arrives, and so does Mike Harrison, a reporter who's been sniffing around HOA corruption. We compare notes and realize this isn't just about me. There are 8 other property owners in the county with the same story: private water sources mysteriously losing volume, always next to an HOA managed by someone connected to Kimberly. That night I can't sleep. The hum of those pumps is stuck in my head. So I go up to the attic, start digging through old boxes, and I find my grandfather's records. Every permit, every survey, every contract. There's even a folder labeled Foster Correspondence. Turns out this started a generation ago. Kimberly's grandfather tried to buy our water rights. When my grandfather refused, the guy threatened him. But our deeds are ironclad. Not just the land, but all water rights in perpetuity. With all that proof, the next day I call Melissa, Mike, and every other victim I can find. Linda Murphy, a former secretary for Kimberly, comes forward with boxes of financial records, invoices, bribes to county officials. You name it. Kimberly's been running this racket for years, selling millions of gallons of stolen water, double billing residents, threatening anyone who asks questions. The kicker: some of the industrial clients were discharging contaminated wastewater back into the aquifer, poisoning the whole county, while Kimberly raked in millions. Now, with evidence piling up, shell companies bribed inspectors, audio recordings, the works, Melissa builds a RICO case. The feds get involved. Environmental scientists test the water map, the contamination trace, every stolen gallon. My sister Jenny, a corporate lawyer, untangles Kimberly's offshore accounts and money laundering operation. The day of the injunction hearing, the courthouse is buzzing. Judge Hendricks listens as we lay it all out: the theft, the environmental damage, the corruption. Kimberly's lawyers try to spin it as a civil misunderstanding, but the judge isn't buying. When Linda testifies to the bribery and Mike plays recordings of Kimberly plotting to expand, before anyone notices, the room goes dead silent. Judge freezes all of Kimberly's assets, sets bail at $5 million, and makes it clear this isn't some neighborhood spat. This is organized crime. Watching Kimberly get let out in cuffs, I finally feel like justice is on our side. The story blows up news crews everywhere, neighbors furious. The HOA holds a meeting and votes her out. Every lie, every threat, every pump she buried comes out. The community turns on her. She's alone, facing decades in prison. And the best part: 6 months after her conviction, the lake's full again. Monitoring system says we're back to capacity, every stolen gallon accounted for. Kimberly's mansion is auctioned, bought for pennies on the dollar by folks she cheated. The watershed's cleaner than it's been in decades. New federal laws, inspired by my grandfather's original surveys, now protect lakes like mine across 3 states. Sometimes karma really does come knocking. Kimberly Foster spends her weekends doing community service, cleaning up the very shoreline she tried to steal. I see her out there scrubbing pump stains from concrete with hands that used to hold nothing but power and privilege. She looks at me across the water, finally understanding what my family's legacy really means. And you know what? I just fish. Cast my line into the deeper water, watch the sun set over a lake that's safe, peaceful, and ours again. So tell me, after everything you've heard, do you think justice was served? Or is there still a line between greed and community that people don't respect until it's too late? Have you ever seen an HOA go this far? Or dealt with a neighbor who pushed things past the breaking point? Drop your story in the comments. Because sometimes the only way to stop a thief is to shine a light so bright the whole town sees what's been stolen and stands up to take it back.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.